Alright, today we're going to be going over how to basically read this engineering plan for the combination flathead screwdriver, and then how to eventually make it. I use this all the time as a flathead screwdriver. I can use it like that. It has a bigger flathead screwdriver on this side. I can use it like that. And pretty much every box I get at my house, I use it, and I just open boxes with this every day. It's on my keychain. And you're going to make one and put your initials on it and heat treat it. Alright, so there's reading the engineering drawing like this, it takes some practice, but basically a couple things to note is that we have the front view, right? So this area right here is the front view. And then directly above it, we have the top view. So this part of the screwdriver up here is looking from the top, like you're a bird in the sky looking at the top. And then over here we have a side view, which happens to be the right side view. And so this area is looking at the side of the screwdriver. So typically an engineering drawing has at least 3 views. Front shows the most about the part, top directly above, and then a side view. We'll talk about the rest of the stuff later. And there's even an isometric view up here so you can kind of see what it looks like. So what we have to do first is we have to basically get our metal. And let's talk about that for a second here. So there are 2 bins of metal here, okay? So in this bin it says oil hardening tool steel, best screwdriver metal, $2 for a second try. So I have in my budget enough to have everyone have one of these. But if you make a mistake and blow it so much that you can't fix your piece, then if you don't want to pay any money, you can have a stainless steel one like this for free, but you cannot heat treat it. So, and you'll lose like a point or two. So when I take the paper off of this, I just want you guys to see this really fast. So the difference I would say is that the heat treatable one, the nice one, looks like it has grains in the metal. Looks like it has like this grains on the metal, whereas the stainless steel one really doesn't have that. So one on the left is the good one, the oil hardening tool steel, and the one on the right is stainless. So hopefully you can figure that out. Next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to the flammable cabinet and get some layout fluid. You're going to want to get some layout fluid, and it says steel blue on here, and you're going to want to open this up, and there's a brush on the end, and you kind of want to go like this and kind of remove some of the layout fluid from the brush so it's more thin, but you don't want to get this on your fingers, and it really goes everywhere. So you want to paint a project that's relatively small with layout fluid so that, well, I'll show you in a second, but it'll help with layout later. So put a cap on that, try not to spill it, and I used a paper towel here. I'm going to put this out of the way, and I have one here that's dry and ready to go. It takes about 5 minutes to dry, and if you get on your fingers it'll come off, but it'll take a little bit of scrubbing. Okay, so that's called layout fluid. So on this project, what we want to do first is we're going to lay out these 2 holes. I have to drill these 2 holes in the project, and I want you to basically get an A on this project, so it's important we do this right. So this hole here, let's lay this one out first. So there's a couple dimensions on this one. If my eyes go down, I can see there's some kind of dimension there. So it looks like this dimension here is telling me that this hole is 5/8 from the left side of the metal. Okay? It's 5/8 away. So you guys know about this thing. It's called a combination square. It looks to me like on this one, there's 32nds of an inch on this side, 16ths of an inch on this side. Flip it over. Looks like I got 1/8 of an inch here and 16ths there. So because I have 8ths and my dimension's 5/8, I'm going to go ahead and loosen this nut a quarter turn. This is 0. So right now it's at 0. And I'm going to slide it out. So right now it's at 1/8. And if this line is flush with this, you're setting it correctly. So I'm going to move it now to where the 5th mark is flush with this space here. It's flush with this. And I'm going to lock it in. So now, quarter turn, it's locked. It's locked in. I want you to hold this in your left hand. So I don't care if you're left or right-handed. Hold this in your left hand because the dimension is from the left side. And I'm going to now put my screwdriver underneath like this. And my finger is holding it. I'm very comfortable right now. Okay, so this is called a scribe. This thing's called a scribe. And I'm going to do just one time here. I'm going to go like this. Right here, kind of angle it like that. And one time to make a scribe. And you can see that line really shows up. It really shows up. What I don't want you to do is go back and forth with this. Do not go back and forth. You know, maybe a second time, if you missed it, you could do a second time, but don't go back and forth like this. All right? Next thing is if I follow my eyes directly over here, I see there's a dimension over here. What's that? Okay, it looks like it's a dimension that's measuring from the top of the screwdriver, and it's 1/2 of an inch. So I have to loosen this up. 4/8 is the same thing as 1/2 of an inch. So 4/8 or 8/16, they both reduce to 1/2, right? So make sure if you want to get an A that again, this 4th mark or this 8th mark is flush with this right here. So now what I'm going to do is I recommend not rotating this screwdriver here. Just keep it like this the whole time. Students tend to get things backwards and mirrored and stuff. So instead, I'm just going to move this to the top. Okay, so I have on the top, I'm very comfortable now. One hand, and I'm just going to do one scribe here. Okay, so I have what's now called my my crosshair. You can see it, kind of see it, why we use layout fluid. It helps to show markings more clearly than if they are bare metal. All right, so next I have another hole here. Here's my second hole I have to drill in the drill press. And what's the dimension of this one? Okay, well, it looks like if I follow my eyes over to the left, I see a dimension. Okay, the dimension is 5/16, and again, it's from the top of the screwdriver. All right, so let's go ahead and do it. So again, here's my combination square. It's at 0, and I'm going to move it out to the 5th mark and lock it in. So now I'm definitely looking at this side of the ruler where there's 16ths, and I got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5th one there is just barely visible. All right, so again, the dimension is from the top, so I'm going to rotate this to the top. Very comfortable now, holding it in one hand. You don't need a partner or a buddy. And I'm just going to go ahead and do one scribe here. Boom. Done. Got the last thing is we have to figure out how far is this hole from the top or bottom. Do you see any dimension at all? Oh, I'm sorry, from the left or right? And the answer is yeah. If my eyes go down here, I see there's a dimension. Yeah, it's kind of crowded and cramped, but it's also 5/16. This dimension right here, it's 5/16 from the left side of the screwdriver. So, do I have to adjust this? No, it's already at 5/16. So, the dimension's from the left side of the metal. So I'm going to go like this, hold it with one hand in my left hand, grab my scribe, and just do one thing right there. Okay. Now at this point, students, it's possible to get a little confused. I wish the lighting was a little better. Let me put on my light. All right, so sometimes students have trouble, like now they did this right, but they're like, well, where are my holes now? Which one's big, which one's small? And then there's always one student that will make, this be the big hole and that be the small one. So just to kind of put it right next to the plan here, I'm just going to go ahead and circle this guy here. I'm going to circle that. So that's my small hole right there, and then this is going to be my bigger hole. Okay, so I got the light on there, you can see it. And what we're going to do is, first we have to get the right size drill. So what size is this here? Well, if you look at this arrow here, it goes up, and it says that this is a number 11 drill. So drills come in numbers, letters, fractions, decimals, metric. They come in all kinds of different sizes. So we're going to grab a number 11 drill, and we're going to grab a 5/16 drill. This circle here with a slash through it, that's the symbol for diameter, just so you know. So another thing in metalworking is that oftentimes in metalworking, especially with steel and stainless steel, stuff like that, we'll drill like a pilot hole, a smaller hole, and then we'll enlarge to the final dimension. So with that being said, we're going to drill both holes here, number 11. So we're going to drill number 11, and then we're going to enlarge this one to be 5/16. Okay. So that's what you need to do. Now, what if you screw up? What if you mess up? Well, if you've only done the scribing and stuff like that, you have a choice. You could just flip this around and lay out there. But if that's, let's just say that's also messed up, well, you could just repaint the top, or you could repaint the bottom. But one thing's for sure, do not drill these holes until you get it approved by a teacher or adult aide. So do not drill this or anything until you get it approved. And then if you come over to me, hey, Mr. Bees, this is great. I'll look at it, I'll say, yep, go ahead and proceed to the next step. Or I'll say, let's do it together. There's a little problem here. Okay, so get it approved, because we don't want to have you drill, because once you do that, we can't erase that very easily, that's for sure. So let me know if you have questions with this. Thanks for watching.